Today, our topic is the role of suffering in human growth. Suffering is something we all face in life. No one can avoid it. It comes in many forms: pain, loss, failure, disappointment, or even just the daily struggles we face. But while suffering is often seen as something negative, it can also be a powerful force for growth. This might sound strange, but many great thinkers and philosophers have argued that suffering is not just a curse, it can also be a teacher. Let's explore how. First, suffering helps us understand ourselves better. When life is easy, we often move through it without thinking too deeply. But when we face challenges, we are forced to stop and reflect. We ask ourselves questions like, why is this happening to me? Or what can I learn from this? These moments of reflection can lead to self-discovery. We learn about our strengths and weaknesses. We discover what truly matters to us. Suffering strips away the distractions of life and shows us what is real. It helps us see who we are at our core. Second, suffering builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult situations. Think of it like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. When we face suffering and overcome it, we become stronger. We learn that we can handle more than we thought possible. This doesn't mean suffering is easy or that we should enjoy it, but it does mean that we can grow from it. Every time we face a challenge and come out the other side, we gain confidence in our ability to handle whatever life throws at us. Third, suffering can teach us empathy. When we go through hard times, we become more aware of the struggles of others. We understand what it feels like to be in pain, to feel lost, or to need help. This understanding can make us kinder and more compassionate. It can motivate us to help others who are suffering. In this way, suffering can connect us to other people. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. We are all part of the human experience, and we can support each other through difficult times. Now, let's talk about Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to deal with suffering. The Stoics believe that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. They taught that suffering is not inherently bad. It is our judgment of suffering that makes it bad. If we can change our perspective, we can find meaning in our struggles. For example, instead of seeing failure as a disaster, we can see it as an opportunity to learn. Instead of fearing pain, we can accept it as a natural part of life. The Stoics believe that by accepting suffering, we can become more peaceful and resilient. One of the key ideas in Stoicism is the concept of Amor fati, which means love of fate. This means accepting everything that happens to us, good or bad, as part of our journey. Instead of fighting against our circumstances, we can embrace them. This doesn't mean we should give up or stop trying to improve our lives. It means we should accept what we cannot change and focus on what we can control. By doing this, we can find peace even in the midst of suffering. Another important idea in Stoicism is the practice of negative visualization. This means imagining the worst-case scenario and preparing ourselves mentally for it. For example, if you are afraid of losing your job, you might imagine what it would be like to be unemployed. You might think about how you would cope, what steps you would take, and how you would survive. By doing this, you reduce the fear of the unknown. You realize that even if the worst happens, you can handle it. This practice can help us face suffering with courage and calmness. Suffering also teaches us gratitude. When things are going well, it's easy to take them for granted. But when we face hardship, we learn to appreciate the good things in life. For example, if you have ever been sick, you know how much you appreciate your health when you recover. If you have ever lost someone you love, you understand the value of the time you had with them. Suffering reminds us that life is fragile and precious. It encourages us to cherish the moments of joy and connection that we might otherwise overlook. Another way suffering contributes to growth is by pushing us out of our comfort zones. Growth rarely happens when we are comfortable. It happens when we are challenged, when we are forced to adapt and change. Suffering is often the catalyst for this change. It forces us to confront our fears, to try new things, and to take risks. For example, someone who loses their job might be forced to learn new skills, or start a new career. Someone who goes through a breakup might learn to be more independent, or to value their own company. In these cases, suffering becomes a turning point that leads to personal growth. Suffering can also help us find purpose. Many people who have gone through difficult experiences say that it gave their lives new meaning. For example, someone who has survived a serious illness might decide to dedicate their life to helping others with the same condition. Someone who has experienced poverty might work to create opportunities for others in similar situations. When we suffer, we often gain a deeper understanding of what matters most to us. This understanding can guide us toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Of course, this doesn't mean we should seek out suffering or glorify it. Suffering is not something to be romanticized. It is painful and difficult, and it can sometimes feel unbearable. But it is also a universal part of the human experience. No one can avoid it completely. The question is not whether we will suffer, but how we will respond to it. Will we let it break us, or will we use it as an opportunity to grow? One of the most important things to remember is that suffering is temporary. No matter how difficult a situation may seem, it will not last forever. Time passes, circumstances change, and we find ways to move forward. This doesn't mean we will forget our pain, or that it won't leave scars. But it does mean that we have the capacity to heal and to grow. We are stronger and more resilient than we often realize. In conclusion, suffering plays a crucial role in human growth. It helps us understand ourselves, build resilience, and develop empathy. It teaches us valuable lessons and pushes us out of our comfort zones. It can lead us to find purpose and meaning in our lives. While suffering is never easy, it can be a powerful force for positive change. The key is to face it with courage, to learn from it, and to use it as an opportunity to grow. Remember, you are not alone in your struggles. We all face suffering, and we all have the potential to rise above it. Let your challenges shape you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person.